welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano, and on today's program we get all the details about the 10th annual Promises for Purple Walk for Pancreatic Cancer. It's coming up this Sunday in Braintree. First, though, as always, we do check out the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, brilliant sunshine out there. It is brisk. It's only 46 degrees. Well, get up to about 50 with sunshine later on today. It'll be another chilly night coming up tonight. Temperatures will dip into the low 30s. Could be our first freeze right here on the South Shore this evening. And a pretty nice weekend coming up too tomorrow. Mix of sun and clouds, a little warmer. The high in the mid 50s, a little warmer still on Sunday with sun and clouds, highs in the mid 50s and up around 60 for Monday. It looks like a warming trend into next week. Right now, sunshine and 46 degrees here in Quincy. In the news today, there will be a new member of the Quincy School Committee after this week's city election. Newcomer Tina Cahill did win a 4-year term on Tuesday. And Doug Gutrow was also reelected along with Emily Lebo, the two incumbents. Now, Cahill was joined, as I mentioned, by Emily Lebo and Doug Gutrow. They were both reelected. Gutrow edged out Courtney Perdios by just 51 votes. So during our live election night coverage, Gutrow said that a priority going forward will be to address the learning loss among students as a result of the pandemic.
But I also see mentally, emotionally, and socially how valuable it is to get them back in the classroom and re-engage and reignite. So, you know, I think QPS has a lot of plans to do things to help both in class as well as supplementary programs that are going to help students, whether it's after school or tutoring or whatever the case may be. It depends on the individual need of the students. So we have work to do, but you know, it's not a Quincy issue, it's not a Massachusetts issue, national, global issue, you know, in terms of that.
All the incumbent city councilors were re-elected to 2-year terms on Tuesday. City Clerk Nicole Crispo says almost 17% of Quincy voters participated in the municipal election. That was up from the 8% turnout during the September primary. Looks like Father Bill's homeless shelter in Quincy won't have to move to a temporary location while a new shelter is built. Mayor Thomas Koch says the shelter can stay where it is on Broad Street until a new shelter is built right across the street.
We made the decision to skip the interim and go immediately to the build out of the shelter. And we're going to lose 3 or 4 months on the schedule of the police station. The flip side is we'll save $4 or $5 million.
Oh.
So that's part of the value engineering process we're going through with the public safety headquarters.
Oh, okay. So the shelter will stay where it is until the new shelter is built?
That's correct.
Initial plans were to put Father Bill's into a temporary location so their current building could be torn down to make way for the new police station. But the mayor says the police station project is also delayed because an additional $20 million in funding is needed. That's due to rising costs caused by the pandemic. It will go to the city council this winter for that additional funding and hopes to break ground on the police station next spring. Groundbreaking on a new housing resource center to be called the Yawkey Housing Resource Center after a recent $2 million donation from the Yawkey Foundation. That'll take place next week. A Weymouth man has been sentenced to 3 to 4 years in prison for the death of a man after a fight outside the Nickerson American Legion post in Quincy in January of 2019. A Norfolk Superior Court jury this week found 38-year-old Matthew Potter guilty of involuntary manslaughter in the death of 44-year-old Christopher McCallum. Prosecutors say Potter and his brother attacked McCallum outside the post, causing him to fall back and strike his head on the pavement. The medical examiner did rule McCallum's death a homicide by blunt force trauma. Potter's attorney argued that McCallum and his brother were the aggressors. McCallum is survived by his wife and 3 sons. McCallum's family issued a statement this week thanking state police and prosecutors for their efforts in that case. Quincy man facing gun and drug charges after what started out as a motor vehicle stop for a traffic violation in Quincy earlier this week. 33-year-old Johnny Martinez was stopped on Granite Street Tuesday afternoon when police found a loaded Glock handgun, ammunition, cocaine, marijuana, several cell phones, and several $1,000s in cash in the vehicle. Martinez was arraigned in Quincy District Court on charges of illegal possession of a firearm and possession of drugs. Former Quincy Mayor Frank McCauley died this week. McCauley died Wednesday at a Florida nursing home at the age of 91. He had moved to Florida with his daughter last year after his wife of almost 66 years, Sandra, died from COVID-19. McCauley survived 2 bouts of COVID-19 himself. He served as Quincy's mayor from 1982 to 1989. He was also the only city official to date to serve in every elective office in Quincy. McCauley was born in Quincy, lived on House Deck, graduated Boston College High School, attended Boston College, and graduated from Bentley College. Also served a year in the U.S. Navy. McCauley also wrote his autobiography, wrote a book about his experiences in Quincy, and was known as an avid walker and a frequent blood donor. McCauley survived by 5 children, 13 grandchildren, and a great-grandson. A funeral mass will be held Tuesday at 10 a.m. at Most Blessed Sacrament Church on C Street, followed by interment at Mount Wollaston Cemetery with military honors. Visiting hours have been omitted at McCauley's request. Instead, donations in lieu of flowers may be made to the Housneck Community Council Scholarship Fund. Mayor Thomas Koch has ordered flags on city buildings to fly at half-staff in McCauley's memory on Monday and Tuesday. Coming up, all the details about the 10th annual Promises for Purple Walk to benefit pancreatic cancer research. That's next. Welcome back. The 10th annual Promises for Purple Walk to benefit pancreatic cancer research at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute in Boston is coming up this Sunday at Braintree High School. Founded, as you may remember, by the late Claire Zampine-Wallow of Quincy, a Braintree native. And Claire approached me a year after the first walk and said, "Joe, I've got this walk going on. It's for pancreatic cancer, and people need to know about it." And I said, "Yes, Claire, whatever you say, come on the show and tell people about it." And ever since then, it's been my true honor to be associated with the Wallow family and to be associated with the walk. And today, we have the second and third generations here to tell us a bit more about it. Claire's son, Rob, his relatively new wife, Lydia, and their really new son, Dante. So welcome to the Wallow family.
Hi, Joe. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
It's our pleasure. With a baby on the set, I might as well just leave. You can just get a close-up of Dante, leave that on for the rest of the show, and everybody will be happy.
He's all decked out with his purple today.
Yes, I see that. I see that. So, Rob, a lot obviously has happened in the past, 2 years, really, right, since the last walk in 2018.
Yep, 2018 was our last walk in person.
Yeah.
In 2019, Lydia and I were married, so we took that year off.
Yes.
And then 2020, last year, obviously with COVID, we had a virtual walk.
Right.
So this year will be in person for the 10th anniversary of Promises for Purple.
It's great. It really is. It's great. Did you ever think it would get to this point when it first all got together? Because you and your brother were the ones that challenged your mom to say, "Well, do something about it." So she certainly did.
Yes,
Yeah.
my mom was very passionate about the cause, about, as you said, letting people know about the disease, and raising funds for Dana-Farber where she received treatment.
Right.
And my younger brother and I suggested, this is a great opportunity to do something, and she was very passionate,
Yeah.
and the rest is history. And to be here 10 years later, it's bittersweet.
Yeah, of
we
course.
have obviously Dante and a new generation to carry things forward, but it's important to the family that we continue her legacy and what she's put together.
Absolutely. She put up a brave battle against pancreatic cancer. I believe she died in 2014, is that right?
Correct.
Yeah, but brought a lot of attention to keeping the purple flowing. I know that was her mantra, right? Purple, the color of pancreatic cancer research. And really, to her tribute, she has done that, because over a couple hundred people show up every year, and more than that donates to that cause. And that wouldn't have happened without her.
Yep, that's right. We have a few hundred folks join us each November.
Yeah.
And so far we've raised $231,000 for research, and we're hoping to hit the $250,000 mark this year.
Sure.
So a lot of a lot of things that we wouldn't imagine have happened have happened, and it really brings a lot of people together from all across the country, really.
Yes.
And bringing this community together to talk to one another and just show support.
Lydia, I'm curious, when you learned about the organization and about Claire and about the mission, what was your feelings about it?
So the first walk that I attended was actually in 2015.
Oh, okay.
I unfortunately never had the opportunity to meet Claire, but I have heard so much about her.
Yes.
It sounds like she has an incredible personality, dearly beloved by family and friends. So it's, as someone that's coming in kind of as an outsider initially, it's great to be able to be a part of the community every November. I'm glad that I can donate my skills to help fundraise for pancreatic cancer, and I really feel like a part of the family and feel like a part of the Promises for Purple family.
Sure. How will you kind of, bring Dante into the fold? What will you tell him about his grandmother?
So, I think we're already going to tell him how wonderful she was and what a difference that she's made in the lives of other patients receiving treatment at Dana-Farber. And, we're hoping that maybe this year he won't be able to walk, but next year.
He can stroll.
Exactly. Next year and the year after, we're hoping that he'll be able to carry on her legacy and we can keep the walk going.
Yeah. How old is Dante, by the way?
He just turned 6 months yesterday.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah,
Happy
so
birthday.
We're celebrating his half birthday with the walk this year.
Rob, what do you think your mom, would say that she would be a grandmother?
I think she would be honored and really, we're very blessed.
Absolutely.
I think, I know that she's still part of everything that we do. And when everyone is gathered at the walk, there's all these people, and just the support that's there. You just feel her presence, and you know that things are going to be okay. I think she would love to have met Dante, and she'd probably comment about his hair. It's a little.
Well, I can tell you she'd be very happy that he's wearing purple.
Yes.
No question. So let's talk about the event itself. It is this coming Sunday. Check-in at noon. The walk starts at 1 o'clock. But you've got really a full slate of entertainment and fun and prizes lined up.
Yep. So registration begins at 12 o'clock. We'll start the walk around Sunset Lake at 1. We have a food truck from Mom on the Go. Which,
that's different. Okay.
We people need to eat, and we're happy to feed them.
Yep.
So we have that food truck. We also have a whole list of silent auction items, which you can actually bid for online, including Red Sox tickets, 100,000 Sky Miles from American Airlines, some Tool gift baskets, and a 4-day fun pass to Starland, which I think for all the parents out there would be great. So that silent auction closes on the 14th of November.
Okay.
But the day of the walk is it's fun, it's family oriented, and we're encouraging everyone to wear their purple. Obviously.
Absolutely. Yep. The walk itself, it's a 5K, so a little over 3 miles, and usually it's marked with purple ribbons all along the route. Is that the case again this year?
Yep, that'll be the case. It's sidewalk only, and people can go at their own leisure. There's no prize for the winners, but some people like to finish first.
Sure.
Which is fine. But otherwise, it's really just a nice day out for the family.
Yeah. Tell me about the committee that puts this, because it really is truly still grassroots. Even though you've raised almost $250,000, you're doing it 10 years, and you have like 300 plus people, but you're still keeping it, grounded.
Yeah, absolutely. The success of Promises from day one, when my mom started it, is all about the volunteers who've donated their time and their expertise and to help. So the committee is our close family. It's my cousins, my aunts and uncles, and then Joe and others who have donated your time and efforts over the years to make this possible. So none of this would be possible without all the time spent making phone calls and asking for donations from local businesses to support the cause.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know it specifically goes to the research being done at Dana-Farber by Dr. Brian Wolpin, who was your mom's doctor, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Dr. Wolpin was my mom's oncologist.
Yeah.
He's also the director of the Pancreatic Cancer Center at Dana-Farber.
Yep.
And you know, the disease itself is very deadly. It's the third most deadly disease behind lung and colon cancer in the country. And Dr. Wolpin's research is very important to find early detection.
That's the key. Yeah.
Is finding early detection.
Yeah.
It's something they just haven't figured out yet.
Right. Yeah. Not so much even a cure right now, just detection. Because if it is detected early enough, it can be treated and successfully too. The big problem is it can't be detected.
That's
And that
right.
was the case with your mom too, right? Yeah. It was already stage 4, as I recall.
Yes,
when
it
they
was.
finally-
It was stage 4,
Yeah.
and you know, that's something that his team over the past 10 years have advanced significantly.
Right. Yes.
From when my mom would be visiting him at Dana-Farber and receiving chemo and treatment to today, they've made a whole bunch of strides toward that goal.
I know immunotherapy is the kind of the big watchword now in that area of research, using the body's own cells basically to cure itself. Yeah, so that's exciting to see.
Yes.
Lydia, I'm curious, is pancreatic cancer in your family at all?
Fortunately, it's not.
Okay.
But you know, just in the past few years that I've been helping with the walk, it feels like, unfortunately, you hear so often, you know, someone's uncle had it or
Yes.
someone's mom, that it is more common than you would realize. And you know, because there's not early detection, it just is. I think it makes it that more heartbreaking to
Yep.
hear of that diagnosis. So we're just doing what we can to to help fund that, and hope that in future generations we'll be able to kind of nip it in the bud.
Absolutely, yeah. Hopefully, maybe in our lifetime, hopefully, certainly in Dante's lifetime. You mentioned to use your skills as part of the committee. What are your skills? What's your background?
So I did a master's.
Just leave that shot on, John. That's that's perfect.
I do think that I've been able to help the walk with putting together the online auction,
Okay.
working on just pulling the graphics together,
Yep.
you know, administrative tasks, organizing
Okay,
things,
that's
just
important
getting the
stuff.
registration forms, you know, doing what I can to keep the committee moving, and like Rob mentioned, you know, getting all of the incredible donations that we have organized,
Yep.
and being able to put them together to be some great prizes for people to bid on.
Yeah, so many local businesses have stepped up to the plate to donate, you know, either their time or products to give away. I know a lot of local school groups, Robs, are involved as well, either that day or, you know, volunteering leading up to it. So you've got really a strong backbone of support to put this on every year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The support we get from local businesses over the past decade has been a game changer, and they continue to make those donations, whether it's a gift card from Pour Coffee House in Norwell, to the local Home Depot donating a set of drills, to the Braintree High School having sending kids for volunteer the
Yeah.
day of, or to sing the national anthem.
Right.
So many South Shore businesses over the past decade have been helpful in keeping us and supporting the cause.
And it's particularly, you know, worthy to mention this year because businesses have struggled so hard through the pandemic, yet they are still, you know, there for you with having their own challenges too. So it speaks volumes, I think, for your mom's legacy, really, you know, that she inspired them so to continue to give and to continue to support.
Yes, she was not afraid to ask.
No, no, exactly. And if that's a lesson that she taught us all, you know, don't be afraid to ask. And the worst they say is no. So far, but judging by this list, not many said no. Not many said no. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We, like you said, over the past year with COVID and the challenges that businesses have faced, it's really unbelievable to see how they continue to help year after year.
How did the virtual walk go last year?
It went well.
Did it?
We raised a little over $10,000.
Okay.
But we obviously had to change our game plan a bit. But fortunately, the day of the walk, folks would take photos and put them on social media of of them dressed in purple
Yep.
all over the country.
Yep.
So it was really nice. It was good that we were still able to do something.
Yeah. Do you think something like that has a future, or did anything good come out of the pandemic for Promises for Purple?
The one good thing was putting the silent auction online.
Yeah.
I think that was super helpful.
Yep.
I think to the extent that we can, we would love to keep the walk itself in person.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really something special to see all the different people there with all the different teams. Current patients of Dana-Farber and Dr. Wilpin. Dr. Wilpin comes and he brings his research team with
Yes.
him. I think it's really powerful and something we'd like to continue if we
Yeah,
can.
it's a shared experience, whether you're affected by pancreatic cancer or not. It's a way to give back. And I think the fact that the doctor and his team and his family come every year too, speaks volumes about his commitment to this particular cause. He's really been elevated in his status in this field and is recognized now as a noted researcher for pancreatic cancer. So I know that he thinks Promises for Purple is an important part of that for sure. Usually, one of the landmarks or two in Boston are lighted purple for pancreatic cancer, like the Zakim Bridge. I remember one year, the TD Garden. Anything like that happening again this year?
Not this year.
Okay.
It has in the past, as you mentioned. This year, we were not able to light Boston purple, so
Okay.
to speak. We had our hands full a little bit. But in the
Oh, you got to
future-
blame Dante for that. Okay.
Well, I'll blame my lack of parenting skills as a new parent, I think, to juggle everything.
It's a learning. Well, he'll teach you everything you need to know. Not to worry. I'm sure that's true. When he is old enough, do you hope that he'll be involved in Promises for Purple too?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I would. It's a great way for him to understand who his grandma
That's right,
was,
yeah.
and who my mom was, and absolutely, if he can be a part of it, we'd love that.
Sure, absolutely. Lydia, for yourself, will your family be part of this as well?
So my family is actually from outside of Philadelphia, so they
Okay.
won't be able to attend in person.
Okay.
But my sister-in-law donated a gift card for the auction item. My parents have donated over the years.
Yep.
They would love to be there in person, but they're sending their support from afar.
Sure, absolutely. And I know that you're all over social media. Yes, folks can find you there. That's another aspect of, I guess, what happened through the pandemic. People were still able to connect that way and stay in touch that way and give that way as well.
Mm-hmm.
That particular day, Rob, how many folks are you expecting this year?
We're hoping for around 300.
Okay. How many teams have you got so far?
We have 9 teams.
Okay.
So good showing of support so
Yeah,
far.
it's not too late.
Nope. Registration, online registration actually closes today.
Okay.
But we obviously welcome walk-ins, and you can show up as an individual, obviously, or join an existing team. But so far we have 9, and that's great. It's a lot of teams that have been with us in the past.
That's
too.
right, yeah. And again, as you mentioned, the online auction continues to the 14th and really can donate anytime.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yep. You can visit promisesforpurple.org
Sure.
to donate.
Thank you for coming in, and thank you, Dante, for making this show a big hit. I understand this is his Halloween costume, Lydia, is that right?
Yes, yeah. He was an eggplant for Halloween, and we're doing double duty with the purple onesie, but he will be dressed in purple on Sunday.
All right, well, we will look for him. So congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
Certainly, and we look forward to seeing you on Sunday as well.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks,
You're very
Joe.
welcome. Another quick break here on the program. Back to recap the forecast for you in just a moment. Really nice weather continues right through the weekend. The rest of the day today looks just fine with lots of sunshine and around 50 degrees. A chilly night coming up tonight. Could be a frost or a freeze in some locations, and a little milder over the weekend. Tomorrow mid 50s, upper 50s on Sunday, and near 60 on Monday. Special thanks going out again to Robin, Lydia, and Dante Wallow for joining us today. Thanks to our crew. Thank you for watching. Monday on the program, Quincy College President Rick DeCristofaro will join us. Go to our website, too, anytime. It's qatv.org. You'll find our latest programs there. There's news and information, video on demand, live streaming, and a whole lot more. Don't forget to fall back this weekend. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a good weekend.